Fran Brown, he was not satisfied about Syracuse's performance against the UConn Huskies. So much so that, in case you missed it, it's been circulating all over social media. There's plenty of videos out there. Fran Brown, the head coach of Syracuse, had his team running sprints directly after the game against UConn. It honestly reminded me of that scene, which actually did happen, by the way. But it reminds me of that scene in the movie Miracle, where the head coach of Team USA is Herb Brooks, and following a sloppy performance by his team, which wasn't even a loss, ironically, just like how Syracuse did not lose yesterday, he had his team skating up and down the ice for a long time after that game, so much so that the lights even turned off in the building. Again, that actually happened. It's not just Hollywood making a movie for movie's sake. That really did happen. You can go look it up. As far as my thoughts on it, look, the team underperformed. They won the game. That's great. They found a way to come back. They showed courage. They showed fight. And they were able to win despite not playing their A game. But they didn't just not play their A game. They really did not have a good performance. And head coach Fran Brown was sending a message to his team, so much so that in his post-game press conference, he even mentioned how his mind was made up already. Whether Syracuse was going to come back and win or they were going to lose, his team was going to be doing sprints no matter what. I think it was deserved for this football team. Maybe you could argue it's a little bit extreme. Usually when you're disciplining your team, that comes more in private, that comes in practice. I mean, if you've ever played team sports before, you've probably been bag stated like I was in hockey sometimes, or you were running suicides in basketball, running sprints in football, whatever it is, baseball. I'm sure there's disciplinary drills as well. Usually it's done in private. In this case, he decided to go public with it. It seems like the players understood it. And so therefore, I have no problem with Fran Brown and having his team run sprints after the victory over UConn in overtime. So after that was said, now let's get to your takes following the victory over UConn. Let's start off here with Orange 44 Pride. Huge comeback, literally saved SU's season. You're 100% right. We talked about this in the post-game podcast, how this was a much-needed victory for Syracuse football. Had Syracuse lost this game to UConn, they would be 0-2 heading into Colgate on Friday night, which is a home game, still needing 6 wins to make a bowl. And if you lose to UConn, or if Syracuse had lost to UConn, find me 6 wins on their schedule in the last 10 games. Because they still got to go to Miami. They still got to go to Notre Dame. I know SMU and Clemson look a little bit shaky right now. I get it. I understand it. But those are still going to be tough road games for Syracuse to win. But hey, they look a little shaky, so perhaps it opens the door for Syracuse to maybe steal one of those games, perhaps both. That would be amazing. But you know those are going to be tough. You also have to go to Georgia Tech. From after Colgate, Syracuse's final 9 games of the season are all against power conference opponents. So, as the theme of this show has been so far, as bad as Syracuse played for most of this game, at least they won. Because had they lost, I don't see how Syracuse football would have made a bowl in 2025. And we would have been doing mostly basketball coverage on this show, getting ready for the season for the next 6 weeks, if we're being honest. It was not looking good for Syracuse football. Thankfully, they found a way to save their season with a comeback victory. Next up from Gavin, the defense stepped up for the offense in the second half. Gavin, I can't believe I'm saying this, but you're right. You are absolutely right that the defense really stepped up in the second half for Syracuse football. Let's go drive by drive for this Syracuse defense in the second half. Field goal, 10 plays, 73 yards. So that was the opening drive for UConn. Then 3 and out, punt. Then 6 plays, punt. Then 3 and out, another 3 and out, 5 plays, punt. Then 6 plays for 35 yards and a punt for UConn. This is the drive where UConn was looking to add some insurance, Syracuse had made it a 17-12 game following a long touchdown to Justice Ross Simmons. But UConn was set up in Syracuse territory with a 1st and 10 at the Syracuse 39-yard line. And shout out to Kevin Jobity. I know someone in the comments section of the post-game mentioned it. He had a big tackle for loss of -4 yards on 1st down, made it 2nd and 14. It was one of the bigger defensive plays of the game because at that point, it forced UConn back. It forced UConn behind the sticks. So after being 1st and 10 from the Syracuse 39-yard line, up by 5 with a chance to go up 8, maybe even add a touchdown and really seal the game. Instead, Syracuse defense holds them to a punt and gives the ball back to their offense with the chance to take the lead, which they did. Then after that, you had the field goal, 8 plays, 52 yards to tie it for UConn at the end of regulation. Shout out Styler Bell for that ridiculous catch on 4th and 10. Then turnover on downs. That was the overtime stop where the linebacker Antoine Delorier made a couple of great plays. So, Gavin, this defense, they were not very good in the first half. The whole team wasn't very good in the first half. But in the second half, the encouraging part is that they did buckle down and did make a couple of huge plays. Even if it wasn't the signature moment that we're maybe looking for from this defense yet, they still have not forced a turnover. Actually, they did force a turnover versus Tennessee. But they still have not made that huge play on defense where you're like, wow, pick 6 or something along those lines. Maybe it comes Friday night against Colgate. But you're absolutely right. This defense really did perform in the second half. And shout out to the entire unit for keeping this team afloat.